This is the Innovation Pulse for the week ending Friday, July 3rd, 2026. And here's who is innovating in higher education this week. The top story this week comes from the AI workforce front. A new study examining more than 21,500 U.S. firms found that companies investing most heavily in AI grew their headcount by 10.2% over a two-year period, according to research from financial technology company Ramp and workforce intelligence firm Revelio Labs, as reported by USA Today. The researchers divided firms into adoption tiers. Low-intensity adopters, spending an average of $2.78 per employee on AI, saw little change in headcount. High-intensity adopters, spending an average of $33.67 per employee, grew headcount by 10.2%, and entry-level headcount at those firms rose 12%, contradicting predictions that younger or less experienced workers face the greatest risk. The findings arrive amid public anxiety. 53% of Americans worry AI could cost them or someone in their household a job, according to a Reuters and Ipsos poll released in June. Ramp Economics Lab lead economist Ara Karazian cautioned that the sample skews toward tech-forward companies and white-collar roles, excluding drivers and manufacturing workers, and that headcounts could still shift beyond the two-year window. The researchers stress the findings show correlation, not proof that AI spending causes hiring. Karazian noted that most firms using AI do not see results immediately, with gains appearing only after sustained high-intensity use. LinkedIn's head of economics for the Americas added that companies investing in new technology tend to have resources for labor as well, and that growing AI firms need human resources, marketing, and sales staff to support new opportunities. In investing in innovation this week, 4 community colleges have been selected to design AI-ready work-based learning experiences through a new initiative backed by Google.org, according to an announcement from the Education Design Lab. The AI Plus Durable Skills Work-Based Learning Design Challenge, launched in partnership with work-based learning platform Repin, selected the Community College of Aurora in Colorado, Hudson County Community College in New Jersey, East Arkansas Community College, and Roxbury Community College in Boston. Each institution receives a $10,000 implementation grant, access to Repin's platform, and a facilitated design process led by the lab. Pilot learning experiences launch in January 2027 and run through August 2027, with students completing employer-designed projects reflecting real-world AI use cases. The lab noted the colleges were selected for institutional readiness rather than interest in AI alone, and plans to publish an open-access library of tools, sample curricula, and best practices at the challenge's conclusion. The announcement cited research showing demand for AI literacy skills has grown more than 70% compared to 2025. Turning to Beyond Ed, Anthropic, the company at the center of last week's lead story on federal model access, released a new research platform called Claude Science on June 30th, and Northeastern University researchers say it could accelerate their work, according to Northeastern Global News. Claude Science integrates more than 60 scientific databases and computation tools in a single workspace. Chemistry professor Jeffrey Agar, who studies protein changes in ALS, said an earlier Anthropic model transition brought improvement of nearly 20% in some areas of science. Researcher Michael Pilastri said automated information gathering could increase the pace of his lab's experimentation by orders of magnitude. A third faculty member, Jared Auclair, offered a cautious assessment, warning that general-purpose AI can produce errors on regulatory guidance or assay design, which carry real consequences in drug development. Auclair estimated that AI deployed well could compress drug development timelines from an average of 10 to 15 years down to 2 to 5. Faculty also noted the beta currently runs only on Mac and Linux systems. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College is reporting a 7% increase in fall enrollment at a time when colleges nationally braced for declines tied to the demographic dip following the Great Recession, according to WLX. President Mary Graham attributed the growth to deliberate recruitment shifts, including partnerships with district high schools that allow students to complete college coursework and potentially finish an associate's degree before graduating, along with outreach to adult learners and programs for military-connected students. The enrollment trend pairs with a workforce training expansion anchored by the Mississippi Artificial Intelligence Network, a statewide initiative the college leads with partners including Intel, Dell, and Accelerate Mississippi. The college is also one of 10 finalists out of more than 1,200 U.S. community colleges for the Aspen Award, which carries a $1 million prize. A decision is expected in April. From the research front, nearly 1 in 5 college students has turned to AI for mental health purposes, and students with severe symptoms are roughly twice as likely to do so, according to a study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders and co-authored by Fordham University psychology professor Tiffany Yip, as reported by Fordham Now. The study of 675 students found 18% had used AI for mental health support, with rates roughly double among students with moderate or severe depression, severe anxiety, or suicidality. Using AI for everyday tasks like schoolwork or trip planning was among the strongest predictors of seeking mental health support from it. Yip warned that chatbots are designed to keep users engaged rather than to provide care, and are not meant to serve as mental health providers. The authors call for building crisis detection tools into chatbots and for educational outreach aimed at students most likely to seek AI support. A companion survey found students rate AI support as inferior to family, friends, and mental health professionals, though ratings rose when family support was less available. In Ethical AI this week, an educational developer has proposed that colleges build what she calls human intelligence labs, staffed campus spaces where AI access is blocked so students can practice reading, writing, and problem solving, according to a piece published in Inside Higher Ed. Author Karen Spira, an educational developer at a private liberal arts university and former tenure-stream Spanish professor, reports that by January 2026, many faculty she coaches had stopped assigning essays because students were submitting AI-generated prose. Moving that work into class creates time pressure, she writes, since faculty typically see students for roughly 1/3 of expected learning time. The proposed labs would have trained staff monitor norms, such as leaving devices in lockers. Spira distinguishes the concept from proctoring-centered testing centers, describing welcoming spaces designed to support practice rather than police assessment. The proposal weighs costs including space, staffing, accessibility planning, and e-textbook workarounds against what Spira cites as big tech's projected $700 billion in AI spending in 2026. West Texas A&M University researchers, faculty, and students now have access to Vision, ranked the most powerful university supercomputer in the United States and 66th among the world's fastest systems on the June 2026 Top 500 list through the university's membership in the Texas A&M University System, according to a West Texas A&M announcement. Vision features 95 computing nodes and 760 graphics processing units and posted 34.82 petaflops of measured performance, part of a $45 million A&M system investment in advanced computing infrastructure. In one early drug discovery project, Texas A&M researchers screened more than 10 million compounds in about a week, work that would have taken years previously. Engineering Dean Emily Hunt said access will enable larger AI models, accelerated simulations, and interdisciplinary projects beyond the university's local computing capacity. California has approved its first new state bar legal specialty in 20 years, a privacy law specialization, and the University of California, Berkeley School of Law, has launched the first executive education program aligned with the credential, according to National Jurist. The Chief Privacy Officer program, implemented by Berkeley Law Executive Education with the Berkeley Center for Law and Technology, launched in January and targets senior legal and privacy leaders navigating AI governance, tech regulation, and data compliance. It includes 7 self-paced online modules and interactive sessions with Berkeley Law faculty and guest speakers. California and North Carolina are currently the only 2 states offering the certification. Closing out this week's broadcast, nearly 200 leaders from 30 higher education institutions gathered in Chicago this week to diagnose AI governance gaps and draft strategies to address them at Complete College America's AI and Student Success Summit, according to GovTech. Participants worked through a curriculum built on mission alignment, resource management, responsible data use, talent development, and change management. CCA President Yolanda Watson-Spiva said AI is already reshaping the campus experience, often without governance, guardrails, or clear answers about who benefits. The summit extends CCA's AI Readiness Consortium, formed with REPIN, the same work-based learning platform featured in this week's Education Design Lab Community College story. CCA Director of Technology Innovation Norm Palmer said, AI in higher education is consistently framed as a technology adoption problem, but is better understood as an organizational design problem. That's this week's Innovation Pulse. Full coverage and source links at innovatinghighered.com.